Okay, welcome to the spoiler part of the review. So if you've not seen Logan, then, stop, don't watch this.
Okay. Wolverine's dead.
We're going right off the wagon, right?
Read what it says.
Spoilers, yes.
Yep. Wow, yeah, hi, yeah, Wolverine's dead.
Yes, after a century, and Wolverine finally gets his wish. He dies. And this isn't such a surprise. It's been hinted at in the comics for a long, long time.
And along with Deadpool and Ghost Rider, they've gone through a similar thing.
Yeah, because immortality, his healing factor is not just can be a blessing, but it's also a curse. I mean, it fights off disease, but it makes you live longer to see your friends and family get passed away without you.
Yeah, I try not to.
That's not fair.
Yeah, I try not to think about it.
Ugh, who does? It's like that Queen's son. Who wants to live forever? But anyway, and how does he die, you may ask? Well,
as I mentioned, there was another spoiler I want to mention. Wolverine has a clone named X-24.
Basically, it's like X-24 is basically Wolverine, but no restraints.
And it's his death is very similar to how Damian died in the comics. He had an adult clone. Damian Wayne. Right.
Explain. And what was the name of that story?
I forget, but I think it was it's called Robin Takes Flight or Red something. But it was in 2009. Just look up some 2000, or it was in it was in 2011. It was right when the New 52 started. Mm-hmm. So yeah, so it was like 5 years ago. So he basically battled a clone called the Heretic, and basically they both killed each other at the same time, and Damian died in that way. So it kind of that was kind of an issue. I mean, I'm sure they weren't thinking about that. I mean, probably let alone knew about it. But I don't know, just because it felt like he went the same way, it kind of bothered me. But also,
I wouldn't say that he died like that. That Logan.
It was similar. I personally think it's similar. Some people might say differently, but
Well, of course, according to comics, the way he died was that he was covered in an adamantium cell.
In the main 6-16, yeah, but
in the main, yes.
I'm just saying, Damian Wayne was killed by his clone, and Wolverine was killed by his clone. So I'm just saying, it's similar.
Well, for one thing, at Wolverine's age, at least 130 years old, his healing factor is pretty much slowed down to a crawl, so it wouldn't have healed him in time. His adamantium on his bones is poisoning him from the inside out.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm not saying it's exactly the same thing. I'm just saying it seems like it's pretty similar enough. You can kind of make the comparison.
But anyway, another thing about this.
So Damian Wayne did come back. So there you go.
You done?
Yes, I got.
Okay. But anyway, another part of this review is that a question is what timeline does this take place in? Well, basically, it takes place in the X-Men timeline. Here's how the timeline for me goes. It's First Class, Days of Future Past, Apocalypse, X-Men's 1, 2, and 3, and then this one.
But
But then again, X3 kind of was rewritten thanks to Days of Future Past.
Yeah, and so was X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Okay, so actually, First Class. Okay,
well, there's a lot of contradiction in these films.
But hey,
you have to get comics do the same thing.
Comic timelines, they're very confusing.
Yes, people will have to accept that. Just focus on the movie you have now. I think somebody mentioned it's better to avoid continuity in one single movie than avoiding continuity in entire franchise movies.
True, but if you are looking for that continuity, then it goes like First Class, Apocalypse, X-Men's 1, 2, and 3, then Days of Future Past, and then Logan.
Well, what a good sequel should do is stand on its own, not have to be compared to the other films. And of course, honestly, Logan. If Logan was the only film in this franchise, if it was the only X-Men film ever made, quite honestly, that would be enough. You wouldn't even need you could watch this movie without knowing the context of what happened to the other X-Men. You know, it's kind of like the Dark Knight Returns, where there was no precursor to that universe, and it just kind of started off with like Batman coming out of retirement. It didn't really we don't know this Batman, this Frank Miller universe until All-Star Batman and Robin, of course. But at that time, which you don't need that, but at that time we didn't see the history for many years. So it's kind of like that with Logan. Much like with, you don't have, well, trust me, you do not have to read All-Star Batman and Robin. It's not worth it. Just The Dark Knight Returns by itself, or you don't read Strikes Again. Just The Dark Knight Returns by itself is a great, you don't need